the point is I can just say the same thing. It doesn't.
What? So it's not impossible, though, right?
Doesn't demonstrate you anything.
I thought you said it was impossible.
No, I didn't say it was impossible, dipshit.
Oh, so it's not impossible. So I can have infallible knowledge.
No.
What? So it's impossible?
No.
Which one is it? Is it possible or not?
You can have infallible knowledge as soon as you show to me that how it's possible for you to have infallible knowledge.
Wait, I can have infallible knowledge as soon as I've showed you.
Yeah. As soon as you give me a non-question begging argument.
Right? I'll give you a dichotomy.
You're just begging the question. You're just begging the question.
How am I begging the question when
you can't have knowledge based on a fucking fallacy, right?
Sean, where did I make an argument? I said I didn't give you an inference.
Sean,
give Sean a sweet taste of that knowledge.
But Sean, everyone is begging the question on everything from someone's perspective.
Oh my God!
Like,
what's the argument for that?
To bring them. Well,
okay, good.
Exactly.
Then you're begging the question. Then you can't have knowledge.
I can't beg the question because I don't provide arguments.
The point here is that you can take the skepticism seriously. You can take the skepticism seriously, but then the apologist has done their job, making you hyper skeptical, and we can just shake hands and say, "Oh, I guess you can't know anything."
This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
There might be like a sophomoric use of question begging here to me.
Yeah. Either way, though, it's either a fallacy.
Whatever that means. Look, the point is,
it's either a fallacy or if it's not a fallacy, then you lose.
It's a fallacy or it's not a fallacy, right? You're begging the question.
Sorry for that.
Sure.
What do you know? What does revelation mean, right? And you tell me it means in knowledge from God, right? Well, how do you know what those words mean?
I just take that to be a malformed question.
What does that mean?
No, it's good. You want Sean to be the hyper skeptic. That's the goal.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
What does that mean?
The point is, if you resolve this question, you're appealing.
Trivialist. They don't do that.
No, I'm not a trivialist. I'm the same. Everyone answers these questions the same way, right? They just appeal to their own reason, right? Which is justified.
I'm not sure.
The only point is that you're denying that you're appealing to your own
reason. On my own reason.
You're using your own reason to deny that your own reason.
No. I'm not counting on my own reason to have this knowledge.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. What's the argument for that?
It's obvious. It's self-evident.
Oh, the argument is it's obvious?
That's right.
Dude, no wonder Godless trounces you on the regular.
If my argument is bullshit, then your fucking argument is bullshit.
He revealed it to you.
You didn't make an argument, then then you have no fucking argument. Then you don't have knowledge.
I made an argument? How do you know I made an argument?
I don't give a shit. If you're not making an argument, then there's no fucking discussion. Then this is just a bullshit. This is a wank session. You're not being fucking serious.
I either made an argument or I didn't make an argument.
Okay, good. Then shut the fuck up if you don't have an argument.
Well,
you tell me, dumbass. Which is it? Are you making an argument or not?
Which one is it?
Which is it?
Did I make an argument or did I not make an argument?
Did you make an argument? That's what I'm asking you. Are you making an argument or not? Well, I'll just tell you. If you're not making an argument, then you're just fucking wanking, and I don't care. Go do that on your own time.
Can you justify that claim?
What?
Can you justify that claim? Is what you just said true?
That I don't care?
Yeah, can you justify that you don't care?
Can I justify that I don't care?
Is it true that you don't care?
I don't need to justify that I don't care. I don't care if you know that I don't care.
Is it true that you don't care?
This is a fucking bullshit conversation, and you're a fucking dishonest fucking douchebag for fucking even running it.
Is it true that this is a bullshit conversation? Can you
just shut the fuck up? You're not being serious.
Sean, you just went from Venus to T-jump in like 2 seconds.
What does it matter? This whole conversation is fucking bullshit.
You went from
this is you're not taking this conversation seriously.
You went from what's the argument to like, oh, I don't care.
I don't care if he's not making a fucking argument. If this isn't a serious conversation, then I'm justified not caring.
I put the argument in the chat and it folded you like a cheap.
Oh shit.
can't be so prideful. Stop being so prideful.
Seven premise argument.
This is like Jeff Trimble.
What?
How do you justify that question?
What? This is like so retarded.
How do you justify that question? How do you justify the question? How do you justify that question?
Did your brain make you see that?
Kill me, Club.
It's just fucking stupid.
Yeah, get him, Sean.
Wait, can I ask like Sean or whomever? Yeah, how does in terms of from your perspective, how does a successful and like I said, success by your measure, how does a successful conversation with a presup conclude? Like, if it was to go well for you, how would it end? Anyone, feel free to answer.
Yelling.
You keep them here till the end of time, and when they eventually perish.
Did you read this argument Matt put in the chat? It starts out decent, and then I think it goes a little off the rails.
If you're not going to be serious, then just fuck off.
Sean.
But I'm serious, Sean. I put the argument in.
Sean, read the argument in chat.
We started off like seriously talking about this, and it devolved into bullshit, right? But I'm not the one that fucking took that step.
Wait, weren't you yelling that you don't?
Just sucking your own fucking dick. No, because you devolved the fucking conversation into bullshit, just asking what's this, what's that, what's the justification for the justification for the justification. What's the justification for the question? No, it's not.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No.
Isn't the process of philosophy pushing the question mark back?
Just to be
clear, I don't even know what that means.
Just to be clear, though, Sean didn't have any justifications for anything he said. So.
Neither did you, by your own lights.
How do you know
That's the fucking point.
How do you know
How do you know that? How do you know I don't know it? How do you know I don't know it?
How do you know that what you're saying is even referencing it?
How do you know that I don't know what I'm saying is even blah, blah, blah?
I didn't understand that.
How do you know you don't understand it? Exactly.
All right, we're at the point where the dog's backed into a corner and he's just biting anyone that comes near with a hand.
I'm doing the same thing you're doing, and you're acting like you're acting like you're on the high ground or something.
Sean, all I wanted to know is if it was impossible for me to have infallible knowledge or not.
I never said it was impossible. I said you haven't shown me that you have infallible knowledge. You haven't given me an argument or even a justification or a good fucking reason.
Well,
but that's what I'm fucking talking about. That's what I care about.
Sean, I gave the reason in the chat. Read it.
What's the justification?
When you asked for the justification, I asked you if you were asking for some sort of inference, right?
I told you no. You can use inferential or non-inferential.
Yeah, so when I say I'm non-inferentially justified, right, and I give you the account of how that occurs, what was the problem?
You didn't give me an account. You just said I'm non-inferentially justified because I'm non-inferentially justified.
No, I didn't. I said God, through his causal powers, imbued me with a sui generis mental state.
That's just jargon. God caused you to know something infallibly. That's an account of non-inferential justification?
That's just conceptual impoverishment.
Are you aware of God? Are you aware that God did that?
You asked for the process.
Do you have an acquaintance with the knowledge? Did you have an experience of God doing that, in which you're non-inferentially basing your belief on?
What are you even asking, dude?
I'm asking you what the fucking account for your non-inferential justification is, how that works epistemically.
What do you mean how it works?
What's your belief based on?
What do you mean what's it based on?
That's what non-inferential justification is, dumb fuck.
I don't know what you mean what's it based on.
That's what it means. An inference is a belief that's based on another belief. A non-inferential justification is a belief that's based on
That's true.
diatribes.
He suggests himself to Darth, so it's kind
Let me speak for the retard.
Yeah, Jeff's
okay?
Jeff's a proper masochist. I don't think you know Jeff.
All right, I'm gonna take my headphones out while G.I. Juice speaks.
Does anyone have the gavel for the Speaker of the House of Representative Retards?
This is what they do, dude. The chair is in session, dude.
Sean says it's true that he.
Change the subject. Change the subject. I'll just wait for you to give me the justification.
He doesn't want to speak to you.
I want to be the committee head retard. Okay, Sean. Given Christianity, could there be an inference to justify the truthfulness of God's revelation, given Christianity?
JK, what's the justification, inferential or non-inferential, that God gave you infallible knowledge?
What do you mean, what's the justification non-inferentially? What are you even asking?
Do you know it? You said the justification was non-inferential.
Yeah, I take
Did you not? Do you know what the fuck that means? Or are you just talking out of your ass?
Are you going to fucking shut up? Right.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I
you know what the fuck you're talking about. You know what the fuck non-inferential justification means. What does it mean, JK? Well, what does non-inferential justification even mean?
Let me fucking speak, retard.
You got nothing to fucking say. You got nothing to fucking say.
When you asked me,
why should I let you speak if you're not going to say anything?
I asked you, are you asking me for an inference, right?
Oh, now so you're going to ask, you're going to reanalyze the question. You're going to dodge the fucking question.
No.
What does non-inferential JK mean? What does non-inferential mean? What does non-inferential justification mean?
Right. Now,
what does non-inferential justification mean?
If we're talking about this notion of justification, I just
answer the question.
I take it to be a primitive, right?
Answer the fucking question.
Yeah, I take this notion.
That's not a fucking answer. That's fucking vacuous. Answer the fucking question.
What do you mean it's vacuous?
How do you know it's vacuous?
It's empty.
Dude, he is so grumpy, this Sean character, this Steve character.
It totally didn't start with a fucking series of bullshit fucking questions and dodging and fucking bad faith intervention.
Dude,
and now you're coming in here and you're just desperate to insert your 2 cents, right?
I want to insert into you.
Hey yo.
Sean, I even gave you the process.
What a waste of my fucking time.
Oh yeah.
Tell me what non-inferential justification means. Tell me what non-inferential justification means, JK.
I want to hear this.
Well, it's in the name.
I'm sick of you dodging the fucking question.
What does non-inferential mean, Sean?
That's what I'm asking. That's what I just asked you, you dumb fuck.
Justification in name only.
Fiction, is it?
No, it's Gino. Justification in name only. That's what he's a.
Got that whole non-qualifier in there, so
yeah,
that must be important. That must be important.
When am I gonna have a turn?
When are you gonna answer the question, JK?
I've already answered your question.
No, you didn't. You said it's a primitive. That's not an account.
No, I'm taking this notion of justification.
Oh, this notion of justification is a primitive. That doesn't mean anything.
Justification means, right? What?
How does it work?
What notion of justification?
What does it do?
Let me know when you're
done.
How
do you get justification non-inferentially?
What do you mean? How do I get it?
How do you get it? How does it work? What's the account?
I don't know what you mean. How does it work?
Okay, well then you don't know what you're talking about. You can't give a definition of non-inferential justification. That's not a definition. That's just some property that it has. It's not telling me what it is.
I'm taking it to be a primitive, right?
It's a primitive. Great. That's a property of the notion, right? What does it mean?
You're asking for a definition, right? If I asked you for a definition of something that you took to be a semantic primitive, what would you say to that?
It's not a semantic primitive. Non-inferential justification isn't even a fucking. It's a fucking.
No, I said this notion.
It's a term. It's there's 2 words. It can't be a semantic primitive.
No. Wait. This notion of justification, I take to be a primitive notion.
Well, it's not a semantic primitive.
I said it's a primitive notion.
Oh, it's painful.
When can I talk?
Oh, and what does that mean? What does a primitive mean?
It means it can't be explicated in simpler terms.
Oh my god.
Great, but that's not what non-inferential justification is. There's a whole fucking there's about 2 billion books that have been written on the subject. Maybe we should go read one.
Why don't you tell me what you understand it to be, Sean?
I will when you fucking read a book and give me an answer that's not bullshit.
Wait, how's it bullshit? How's what I said bullshit?
Non-inferential justification is not fucking primitive.
No, I
Can
said the
I
notion of
ask Shane a
justification.
question?
Wait,
I
the
want to
book
ask
the book
Shane a
can't
question.
be from like Bronson or Van Til, can it, Sean? You wouldn't accept that.
When can
Yeah,
I ask Shin a question?
I want to finish this with Sean, right? So when Sean asked me for justification, right, what notion of justification are you presupposing, Sean?
You were asking me like how you get around skepticism. I was giving you
I'm
general
asking you what the
answers of
fuck,
how you would
what you
do
mean
it,
by, what do you mean by justification?
and
And
you
you asked
turned
me
it
for
into this very dishonest, like like angry,
No. What do you mean when you ask me for
nefarious tactic of
when you say
questioning me about
justification?
shit.
When you say justification and you ask me for it, what do you mean?
Look, I don't take it seriously that
What do you
if you're a
mean?
skeptic, I don't take it
What
seriously
do you
that
mean?
I don't take it seriously that a thoroughgoing skeptic, that
Right, I'm telling you.
theism solves thoroughgoing skepticism without appealing to the same sorts of justifications about a priori
Sean,
reasoning and stuff like that,
Sean,
right? It's
when
just
you ask
a
for
it's
justification, what
just
do
an
you mean?
appeal. It's just an appeal
Are you reading the
to.
book as you speak?
No, I'm just thinking.
What do you
Um,
mean then?
I'm just giving you general answers because this started out as just like a friendly
Wait,
general
why are you
discussion, and
putting
you turned
what
it
do you
into an interrogation, and I'm not
what
interested.
what do you mean when you ask me for justification?
What you tell me first? You're saying I don't have it.
You're the cunt asking for it.
I wasn't the cunt asking for it. You started the fucking question. You asked me.
So you're not asking me
You
for
asked me
justification.
what the defeater for skepticism is, right? And I told you I
Wait,
don't know exactly what the defeater is. I just don't think that like
are you asking me for justification or not?
theism is going to magically avoid any of the arguments from skepticism. I doubt you
Are
even know
you
what any of
asking
the
me for
arguments for
justification or
skepticism are.
not?
The defeater for skepticism is a nailed down.
Are you
No,
asking me
I'm
for
not asking
justification,
you.
Sean?
No, I'm not asking you for justification.
Well, I thought that's what you were crying about a minute ago.
No, I'm complaining about your fucking dishonesty and you're just like being annoying.
Wait, where was the dishonesty?
We were having like a friendly fucking conversation. You turned it into this like bad faith, like bad spirited
No. You're just saying it's bad faith.
interrogation.
How's it bad faith?
Because you're being a jerk.
Wait, me being a jerk means it's bad faith.
Yeah, roughly enough.
Where's the dishonesty?
Now I have to be honest though, JK is sincerely a jerk.
Yeah, Sean, where's the dishonesty, dude?
So, GI, about gnomic modality,
Your answer is not any better than mine. That was my point from the beginning.
Where's
Right?
the fucking dishonesty, dude?
Dude, have you heard of garden
You
nomadic?
never answer any of my
garden
questions.
modality.
Yes, I did answer your questions.
No,
I
you
told
didn't.
you. I told you I take
See,
justification.
Sean and J Styles take philosophy too seriously sometimes. They don't know how to play in the philosophy garden and start pulling shit out of their...
I don't.
Yeah, dude.
I don't take it seriously. I don't
You're getting
know
mad.
enough
What
to
do you
like.
mean? You're getting mad right now.
Dude, you went through like 5 tampons in this conversation.
Sean.
Get mad because we were having a fucking normal discussion and you turned it into a fucking interrogation. I was just giving you my explanations for the way I'm thinking
Right,
about these things.
so you haven't told me how I was being dishonest, for one.
You
Right?
never answered the question.
You're not willing to tell me what you mean by justification when you ask me for justification.
You never answered me. You never told me what you mean by justification. You said it's a primitive. Okay, I take it as a primitive too. Great.
Oh, you take it to be a primitive too, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just say that?
Well, there you go.
That was a good discussion, guys. I think that's a good place.
Where does that get us?
A good place to end it.
It got you to the end. You win.
So we share the concept, right? Do you think we share the concept? Do you think our notions of justification are overlapping enough sufficiently to where we share the concept?
No.
Well, why not?
Because we don't know what we're talking about.
Speak for yourself.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I know what I'm talking about. I possess the concept.
No, you don't.
And what's the argument for that?
It's just obvious.
Oh, just another obvious, is it?
Yeah.
Is this how they generally end, Albedo?
Oh yeah, dude. This argument turned me gay.
I hope so. I hope it ends right about.
Sounds like an analytic reductionism going on.
I would say more reinforced.
Yeah, so how does God give you infallible justification? How does that work exactly?
Well, God gives me the knowledge, I think you might want to ask, right? How does God give me the knowledge?
Well, if he gives you the knowledge, then he gives you the justification.
Yeah, through his causal powers.
Right, exactly. What does that mean?
So what do you mean, what does that mean?
So you believe that he believe that he gave you the knowledge through his causal powers?
Oh, I know it.
Right, but what's the reason for that belief?
God imbued with it.
Well, you can't gain knowledge through that sort of system. You can't gain knowledge by deriving it from assumptions because you don't know the assumption is true.
Where did I say I made? What do you take an assumption to be? Something that's unjustified or something?
Yeah, that's right.
Where did I say I was making any assumptions?
Yeah, you did.
When?
You said God gives you knowledge. You don't have any reason for it. That means it's an assumption.
No, it doesn't. I didn't say there was no reason.
What's the reason? Well, what's the reason?
If you're asking for a reason, I assume you're asking how it occurred, right?
No, I'm asking for a justification.
Yeah, and when you ask for a justification, and I tell you, right, that it's not going to be the type of justification that comes from a line of reasoning, right? That's to say it's non-inferential, caused, right? It's been caused for me to have. What do you take that to mean?
That just means it's unjustified, so you don't know anything.
How the fuck does it mean it's unjustified?
Because justification means that's what justification is.
What?
It means there's a reason for the belief. It means there's a justification for the belief.
Yeah, what do you mean by reason?
Justification.
And by justification, you take that to be a primitive?
Yeah.
Yeah, so do we share the concept?
No, I don't take that to be a justification. I was memeing. I don't think it's primitive.
Oh, what is it then? What are you asking me for?
It's just it's a reason to believe something.
Yeah, I'm asking you what you mean by a reason.
Well, it's a justification or an inference or something like that.
An inference, when I've told you it's non-inferential.
Oh, well, I don't accept non-inferential justification.
So? So
you don't know anything.
That doesn't follow. Just because you don't accept something that I don't know.
Yeah, so you don't know that God gave you anything.
Well, that's your claim.
Yeah. Well, no,
What's
I
your...
demonstrated it through the argument.
Wait, what was the argument?
In order to know something, you must have good reason for believing it. Any chain of reasonings is going to follow. Any chain of reasons is going to have one of the following structures. Either it's an infinite series, it's circular, it begins with a belief for which there are no further reasons. But you cannot have an infinitely long chain of reasoning for any of your beliefs. Circular reasoning cannot produce knowledge, nor can you gain knowledge by something for which there's no other reason, which was the third option, dogmatism. Therefore, you don't know anything.
No, I do have a reason. And if by reason, when I asked you...
No, you don't. You said it was a primitive.
And by reason, right, if you just mean justification...
You don't have a reason.
I told you I have a justification.
Which means you don't have a reason for it. So you can't produce knowledge
What?
that way.
When I asked
That's
you
what that
what
means.
reason was, and you said justification, I've told you I do have a justification.
You told me you didn't have any justification for the justification.
I don't have any justification for the justification.
You're the one that said you take skepticism seriously, right? So you can't know anything from an atheistic perspective.
No, you're missing the point. I said I do have knowledge at the beginning. I was asking you initially.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, because now you're being dishonest. I'm going to show you why. Because you said that I couldn't actually have knowledge that I couldn't be wrong about, and we asked why is that impossible, and you couldn't fucking tell us.
What? I did tell you. Like the fucking skeptical argument that I just fucking gave you that you admitted that goes through.
Oh, if there's an omnipotent
you use on
God,
atheists.
If there's an omnipotent and an omniscient God, is it impossible for that God to imbue us with knowledge, right, such as we can't be wrong about the content of it?
It's not a question of whether it's possible or impossible. It's a question of whether you can avoid this argument or not.
Well, no, because you're saying I can't have knowledge.
Yeah, because you're saying you take skepticism seriously, so I'm giving you the skeptical argument which you want to use to motivate that position.
I mean, if you want to ultimately say, how do I know God exists?
So how do you get around the argument? How do you solve the infinite regress?
If this ultimately amounts to how do I know God exists, right, which is going to be the start.
No, it amounts to whether you can solve the fucking argument or not, whether you can avoid the argument.
Solely, it's because he's like a butcher. That's like the point. That's the point which like he lives.
Yeah.
Munchausen trilemma. I gave you the Munchausen trilemma, but I at least gave him. But I actually gave it to him in the form of an argument called the regress argument.
If you think my epistemology.
How do you beat the regress argument? How do you do it?
Oh, God, dude.
You beat it with your cheek.
How do you answer the regress argument?
If you ask me how I know things, right?
You're just gonna keep avoiding the question. You're just gonna waste my time.
I'm just gonna fucking answer you.
You're just not answering. That's what you're doing.
You keep talking over me, so I can't answer you if you do that.
Because you're BSing. You're not giving me. You're not avoiding the regress. Which premise do you deny in the argument?
Ultimately, I'm going to say the infallible knowledge that I possess is that God exists. You're going to ask me how I know that, and I'm going to say because it's been revealed to me, right? And I'm going to keep saying that over and over again. Yeah, it's circular. It's virtuously circular.
Great. Then you'd still fall victim to the regress argument. You don't know anything.
No, I don't take that to be the case.
Good job. I don't care what you take to be the case or not. What do I care what you think? What do I care what you take to be the case? The point is you don't have a good answer to the argument.
Are you telling me that I'm committing a fallacy?
Goofball.
Are you telling me I'm
committing a fallacy? Yeah, you're committing a fallacy.
Am I incorrectly reasoning?
Yeah, you're committing a fallacy. You're incorrectly reasoning, bruv.
Am I incorrectly reasoning?
Yeah, you're incorrectly reasoning, bruv.
Yeah. Now, how do you
you're doing it wrong.
When you say it's a waste
you need to be a skeptic, bruv. You can't solve it with theism. All you can do is be skeptical, bruv.
When you say he's wasting your time, is that another way of saying that you have like 5 more hentais to like vigorously masturbate to?
So Sean, if you
this is why nobody likes you, Gia.
Wait, hey, Sean. Sean, do that impression again, though. That impression was sick.
Yeah, so Sean, if I'm incorrectly...
It's funny when people on Discord or Clubhouse talk about the value of their time. I just want to know more about that.
Because this is totally valuable over time.
Yeah, I just want to know how Sean accounts.
Yeah,
for
so
fucking
theism doesn't
normativity.
solve skepticism. I'm glad we all
Wait,
agree.
what's the argument for that?
I just gave it to you.
How do you know that?
That's only if all
Because you
knowledge
didn't
must
give
be
an answer to the
inferential.
regress argument.
Is that true?
Yes.
Did the chemicals in your brain produce you to generate you to blurt out that sentence? Did your brain make?
No. The chemicals in JK's brain cause the chemicals in
Yeah.
my brain.
Sean is just
to make
trying
me
to
say
tell
that.
you that we can't know anything. So he's been reduced to radical skepticism.
No, I don't actually believe that because I believe the regress argument fails.
Well, go on, Sean. Why don't you defeat skepticism for us?
Well, I'll tell you someday when you're old.
No, why don't you do it right now?
I can't do it right now. I don't have a good enough argument.
Wait, Sean.
I said I believe that it failed.
Wait, Sean has
How do
argument.
you know that? Is it true that you believe that, Sean?
Can you give the argument again really quick?
Premise 1, in order to know something, I must have a good reason for believing it. Premise 2, any chain of reasons must have one of the following structures. Either A, it is an infinite series, B, it is circular, or C, it begins with a belief for which there are no further reasons. But, premise 3, I cannot have an infinitely long chain of reasoning for any of my beliefs. Premise 4, circular reasoning cannot produce knowledge. Premise 5, nor can I gain knowledge by structure 2C. For A, I would not know my starting beliefs to be true from premise 1, and B, I cannot gain knowledge by deriving it from assumptions that I do not know to be true. Conclusion, I cannot know anything.
Wait, Sean, what's the argument for P1?
I reject that I can't have an infinite.
In order to know something, I must have a good reason for believing it.
Yeah, what's the argument for P1?
Well, if you take skepticism seriously, then you just take it to be true that you need good reasons. That's what the whole point is. That's you need a justification for your belief.
But I was wondering
And you
if
already
there was an
admitted
actual.
that you take skepticism seriously.
No. I was just wondering if there was an actual argument for P1.
Yeah, the argument is you can't. In order to know, knowledge is taken to be justified true belief. Justification requires some steps of reasoning or good reasoning.
Wait,
But you already admitted that you
was that premise
accept
1?
some sort of justification for premise 1.
So you're eliminating infinitism because you think that you can't actually have infinite beliefs, and then you're eliminating
That's a
foundational.
fallacy.
What's a fallacy?
I don't. Infinite regress.
What?
Oh no, it isn't.
What?
I mean, if you don't take infinite regress to be a fallacy, then
you could stipulate.
Why would it be a fallacy? What's the fallacy?
The incorrect.
Well, it wouldn't result in a justification because you would never arrive at the justification.
Is this just a Buffergate argument? Like, what the fuck?
Oh no.
Dude, it's Dr. Craig, dude. It's William Lane Craig.
What you don't understand solely is that Sean wants to say that having an infinite chain of justifications is metaphysically impossible, not logically impossible, of course.
I mean, you could just stipulate that, yeah, something like that. That, like, you're a finite being that can't have infinite beliefs or something. But,
bro, I'm not trying to give you the argument against infinitism, right? I'm just saying, nobody takes infinitism because they take epistemic regress to be problematic. You don't take it to be problematic, then I guess you see infinitism as a live option.
No, but where you fumbled was into saying that it was like some error in reasoning. It's like some fallacy. Where do you get that from?
Just how I was understanding it, that it's like if you
What's
the
what?
reasons
Yeah, what's what's the error in reasoning?
that if the reasons are infinite, then you'll never arrive at the reason that justifies the proposition.
No, but look, even if I could grant you that, how is that an incorrect line of reasoning? How is that a formal or an informal fallacy?
I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't even grant that anyway, because look, if you have an infinite chain of justifications, then for any belief, there's a justification.
It's justified in every way that it can
No,
be
but
justified.
what he needs to understand is, by me granting it, that's just another way of me saying, look, I could grant you that, but it's orthogonal, right? Because you said that it was an incorrect form of reasoning, right? So, where's the fallacy there?
Well, you're like saying that you have a justification, but the justification is never gotten.
No, well, that's just to assume that you wouldn't arrive at like any sort of justification. It's just that the justification for each proposition is going to depend upon a prior proposition, right? That itself is going to be justified by a prior proposition and a prior one before that, right? So, like, what's the fallacy there?
The justification will never be gotten. It goes on infinitely.
This is like Khalil Andani level stuff. So you're saying
Well,
that
most people
I would
take epistemic regress to be a
you
problem,
you
right?
would say that I would never arrive at a justified true belief over X if
Yeah,
in
you'd
order
never
to
get.
get
That's this is
in
about.
order yeah, so in order to get to X, there would be like an endless set of like propositions that are themselves unjustified. Is that the idea?
The idea is that you would never get a justified true belief because you would never get to the end of the chain of reasoning, so you would never get to the justification.
See, but that's just a restatement of the claim, though. And I just told you that you could have a set of propositions which presumably are going to be beginningless, right? But nevertheless have an end. Like, what's the problem there?
How does that work?
The same.
Oh man.
What do you mean? How, what do you mean? Do you think? Do you think that it's like
Oh,
a logical contradiction? Shut up for a second. Do you think that there's like a logical contradiction in there being a beginningless set? So a set that doesn't have a first member, right? But somehow happens to have a last member. Is that a contradiction?
well, it could have a last member, but the point is the last member would just be like the belief that you're talking about. There's no first member,
Yeah,
then
but
You
there's no
would.
I think, but
justification.
Dov, I think they're
No,
different
no,
though.
no, no. But look, you're arriving at that last member, but there's no first member within that set. Like, what's the issue?
No,
I
but
don't know.
that's
I can't
I
wrap my
don't
head
see what
around
that's
you.
it.
like but that's not the same as the infinite. Like I think what Sean's saying is that it
Oh my
can't be
god! No,
justified.
stop talking! Holy
No,
shit!
it is. Listen, relax, man. Don't fucking. He's
But
saying that it can't be justified.
okay,
Like you
what are
can't
you
go
gonna
back
say?
through the chain.
What he doesn't it's exactly like it, right? Just apply parity of reasoning here. What he's saying is, if the set of all propositions, right, are infinite, then you could never arrive at like whatever current proposition you have in mind right now in order to justify it. And I'm saying that that's false because it seems like he doesn't understand the distinction between a beginningless set and an endless one, right? You could still have um, the set of all propositions be like beginningless. There's like no first proposition that you could point out
Oh.
within that set and say, well, this is where my justification begins. But nevertheless, there's a final proposition where you could say, yeah, I'm justified over believing in X, Y, Z, whatever that proposition is. There's no issue there.
Yeah, but
But
whether or
wait a
not,
minute, how does that work?
Great. Then I
Real
take
quick,
whether or
then I
not
Hemi.
the
take
one second,
infinitism,
Well,
and I can
Hemi, before y'all push back,
have
I want to
knowledge without theism. Okay,
before
hold
y'all
on,
great.
push
one second,
back, I
Eddie.
just
Yeah,
want a
one
clarification
second,
real
Eddie and
quick.
Sean. 1 second, Eddie and Sean. Sorry, because you.
W-
But
I
but
want a
I think
clarification real
I
quick.
think the different. 1 second, Ed. I think the difference is
No,
though.
I'm just playing.
I think
Sorry.
oh, no. I think the difference is though, like, so whether or not the belief's justified, that's what we're examining. Then to say there's like a beginningless set, like for instance, like a Malpassian kind of response to Craig, but that's like to say that if we've arrived at this justification now, that it's always been justified, right? It's just always been justified. There's no beginning of the justification. But then if you were to attempt to justify the claim, you would never complete that set of justification. And if we take a if we take a belief like one justification to not be dependent upon another justification in the chain, then it's fair to say that if you never complete this chain of justifications, then the belief that you set out to prove or to justify will never be justified. That's what I think he's saying.
Why?
I'm not sure if that's
The issue there is
go on.
that at any step in that process, according to what you're critiquing, you're going to find a justification for that step, and so on and so on, right? So I don't really see what
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
getting.
Well,
But
here's
wait,
the
do you
clarification
want
I
so
was
is in you
asking.
want to say that if at least, for instance, let's say he goes out to justify X, he sets out to justify X, and then in the first link in the chain is like the justification for X. Are you saying then he's already succeeded in justifying X?
No, the point I was making was that if you require that he continues onward to the prior justification and prior and so on, right? That for each step there will be a justification.
Yeah, I
You're
understand
never
that.
going to get one. Yeah, you'll never find one that doesn't have something
Correct.
justifying it. So
But then you'll never
right.
complete the set, and therefore, if the endeavor is to justify this belief, you won't complete the set of justifications. That's the point.
What?
Well,
Sounds
so here's the clarification I want to real
No,
quick.
so
Isn't that
what? So
hold on a
first,
second,
first
man?
of
I've been
all,
Jewish to
waiting. I've
me.
been waiting for just one clarification.
Sounds
Just
Jewish.
one clarification. Does any of that
Hey, that's
matter?
a fucking lie. Don't even.
What?
One clarification is like 23 hours.
No, I'm asking a question. Does any of it matter when we talk about sets? Because we're into set theory. What about supersets? How does that play
Oh,
in?
got him.
you waited all that time to just say that. No, I'm just kidding. But
Oh,
look, Timothy, the issue that you're not understanding is, look, what we're meaning by infinite here was the sense that I used, right? Where there's no like first like prior proposition which Sean is gonna say, look, I'm justified in believing in that proposition, right? The set is beginningless, but the set is going to have an end, right? So the set, you would still manage to find one last proposition which quote unquote completes the endeavor of justification that Sean is engaging in when
No,
he
I
examines.
understand, bro. I understand you don't. I'm not
Well,
even in
But like,
disagreement
why?
with you.
Okay, so then why
I was trying to
would it
explain to you
matter
what
then?
he meant. No, but because I think you guys were saying whether it's justified or not, like he was begging the question. But he was saying, like, as in, if he were to embark on this endeavor to justify it, he would never complete that set of justification. That was his point.
Timothy is reversing what you're saying, man, because he's saying that he starts from the first belief that he
Yeah,
knows he has,
exactly.
and then
Yeah,
goes
but
to that justification
Because to
and so
say,
on.
listen, Darth, to
yeah, but
say
that's
it's
not the
almost like
worry.
hold on, it's
That
almost like
but
what
how
Malpass.
that?
But listen. It's almost like counting down the negative integers to zero, right? That's like all counting up, I guess, to zero. It's like it's
But so
beginningless.
what? So what? How is this an
Yeah,
issue?
so I'm
Like
saying it's
I
perspectival.
just
So you guys are like
you, I
misrepresenting him.
just
That's all I was
told
saying.
you. Yeah, I just told you that. Okay, fine.